Hello, everyone. Before I go outside and do my workout, I just wanted to let you know. This is DARYL Guberman. I'm the CEO of Guberman PMC LLC, a quality consulting firm here in Connecticut. I want to let you know about the subject of integrity, honesty, and the truth. And I had not an apprehension about reading this article from Talking Points menu. That's a news article that's on the internet, but there's other articles concerning this. But I want to let you know what type of people that these companies pick for their leadership. Today is going to focus in on Patrick Shanahan, the former Deputy Secretary of Defense under Donald Trump. He was at Boeing between 1986 and 2017, and he's most recently the Spirit Aerospace Systems 2023 to present, okay? I think that's September 2023 to present. This video today is about, and the title, Gruesome Domestic Violence Details Emerge as Patrick Shanahan Pulls Out a DOD Nomination. DARYL Guberman explains. The reason why I do this is that when I had my secret clearance in aerospace and other places, 25, pages, they want to ask you about your parents, if you're married, children, this, that, the other thing. And you mean to tell me that I'm sure he had a clearance when he worked at Boeing? And this goes back to 2019, but I want to let you, IAM 751, know the backgrounds of these people. And I know Shanahan is not working at Boeing any longer, but he's now at Spirit Aerospace Systems, but he was a formidable force to be reckoned with when he was at Boeing. President Trump on Tuesday announced that Acting Secretary of Defense Patrick Shanahan has declined to move forward with the confirmation process to formally assume the role. At the same time, a new report was published outlining shocking details from episodes of domestic violence within Shanahan's family. Trump said he would name Army Secretary Mark Esper as the acting secretary. Shanahan's withdrawal is not completely unexpected, as Yahoo News reported Monday that his confirmation process was being hampered by a longer than usual FBI background check, which included a domestic violence episode that resulted in his ex-wife's arrest. He addressed that and some other grisly familia incidents with the Washington Post in a story published nearly simultaneously with Trump's tweets. In November 2011, Shanahan's then 17-year-old son William beat his mother with a baseball bat, rendering her unconscious in a pool of her own blood. She sustained skull fractures and internal injuries so severe that they required surgery. Per court reports, William Shanahan unplugged the home phone so neither his mother nor younger brother could call 911. As he fled the scene, he allegedly gave his brother a bottle of rubbing alcohol to clean her up. The younger brother ultimately called the police from a neighbor's phone. Shanahan took his son's side at the time, saying that his ex-wife had harassed him for nearly 3 hours before the incident. He also got William Shanahan a hotel room and stayed there with him after he had left the house. Shanahan has said since that he didn't realize how hurt his wife was when he wrote down his defense of his son, intended for the teenager's attorneys, though the memo was sent 2 weeks after the attack. William Shanahan ultimately was sentenced to 18 months at a Florida sheriff's youth ranch and sentenced to 4 years probation, though the Post reports that both punishments were reduced. I have never believed Will's attack on his mother was an act of self-defense or justified. I don't believe violence is appropriate ever, and certainly never any justification for attacking someone with a baseball bat, Shanahan told the Post on Monday. Shanahan also addressed the event that ended in his wife's arrest, claiming that she started punching him in the face while he tried to sleep and proceeded to attempt to light his possessions on fire before the police arrived and observed his injuries. Even before Shanahan's family matters were made public, the ever mercurial Trump seemed to be cooling on his defense secretary personally, asking around for alternate candidates while in Europe for D-Day ceremonies. Some people, he asked, offered up Esper as a backup. Shanahan has had a bumpy road since the beginning of initially surviving probe from Pentagon to investigate if he used his office to promote Boeing, his former employee. Shanahan addressed his withdrawal in a statement Tuesday afternoon. After having been confirmed for Deputy Secretary less than 2 years ago, it is unfortunate that a painful and deeply personal family situation from long ago is being dredged up and painted in an incomplete and therefore misleading way in the course of his process, he wrote. I believe my continuing in the confirmation process would force my 3 children to revive traumatic chapter in our family's life and reopen wounds we have worked years to heal. Ultimately, their safety and well-being is my highest priority. I would welcome the opportunity to Secretary of Defense, but not at the expense of being a good father, he concluded. A good father. Well, it appears that he took his son's side rather than his wife's side. We don't know that. It appears that they had some conflict that probably, I don't know how good the FBI did their investigation. I'm sure he's got a secret clearance, being a Deputy Secretary of Defense. I'm sure he had that. There's a serious issue. When he was Deputy Secretary on Donald Trump's staff, he was inquisitioned, as they said, basically, to find out how close he was. Was he snuggling up to those generals pushing Boeing products? He had like 30 years on board. And here's a picture. He had like 30 years on Boeing, and human nature has it this way, that, of course he probably did that. I don't know for a fact, but human nature definitely would preclude you to believe that, of course, he was pushing Boeing products. He worked there for so long, why not? And in his position, why not? So they inquisitioned him. When he was asked about the F-35 program, a program that was run by Lockheed Martin, he said that that program was fucked up, as you can see up here. Okay, first federal official I ever hear say something about the program, even though he was probably correct in his assumption and his dialogue there and his answer. He is now CEO of Spirit Aerospace Systems. I want to know what type of animals that they pick for these positions of leadership. It appears from this article that they had some family issues, wife and husband. As you see, that for 3 hours, the wife was arguing and punching him in the face, all the rest of the stuff, and there was some problems in the family. Yet they pick these people for leaders. Are they good leaders? We don't know, do we? All I know is what I read here, and in every article that comes about with this, gruesome domestic violence, and I know it's from 2019, but I pose this question to IM 751, and I pose this to all the people who are listening. Why is it, for God's sake, do these companies and corporations pick people that should never be picked? Okay? That is not just embarrassing, but that tells me what Spirit Aerospace Systems is. They don't care. They got him there because he's probably former Boeing. He could rub up against everybody now. Who knows? I just leave it here. This video is about the gruesome domestic violence detail emerged as Patrick Shanahan pulls DOD nomination. Yes, he's correct. The F-35 is fucked up, was fucked up, and will continue to be fucked up. It's true, okay? The last report I read, they delivered 801 F-35s. The 801st ship still has quality issues. What is that telling you? I'm going to leave it here. I just wanted you to understand this, ladies and gentlemen. What type of people are at the top of the food chain? People like this. And is he of value added? No. Not by his history. And especially if he's got a top secret clearance, you're supposed to go into family details about this, about what's wrong. Do you have any family issues? Because they're scared because of the fact, they're not scared, but they don't want you to have family issues because that compromises any sort of secrets that may be entailed to you. That's why. 203-556-1493 or Daryl, TQRS @yahoo.com. I thank you. Have a great day.